So Philip, congratulations first of all on getting your PhD. It's been a long, long journey.
Thank you very much.
And now you're finally here. How does it feel?
Well, it's most of the time the first feeling is like, is it coming real? Is this real? Then with the help of you believing it's real and people around you, then you know it's real. But the first feeling is, I'm not sure this is real. But it feels so good. You feel on top of the world, and it's a new feeling. It's a feeling you've never had before. To be called the doctor, and everyone is looking at you.
Now you've got that title behind your name.
Yes, that title, and you want to be very conscious of the title when you're addressed, or you want to tell people who you are. My name is Dr. Philip, and you'll be like, I'm not very used to this, but hey, you stand in front of a mirror, Dr. Philip, my name is Dr. Philip. So that's the feeling. It's very good.
Okay. What inspired you to thrive towards a PhD in employment relations?
Okay, I used to be a training manager in one of a training firm in Nigeria. Having the banking industry as the focus. So I was taking around a lot of banks in Nigeria, and I was having interaction with the staff, both middle, higher, both entry level, both the corporate and the senior management. So I started interacting with them. And I discovered that a lot of them were giving me researchable problems. And that was what really brought up my topic. And I've had my master's before I got this job. So the next thing is, okay, if you have a researchable problem, you can go ahead and see how this problem could be addressed, and how that sector, that industry I found myself, could be better placed if I have solutions to those problems. I was interacting with staff, and I got to know that there was a leadership problem, and a lot of them were telling me that they were getting what they didn't expect, less than what they expect. So that brought about that construct, psychological contract breach. They felt the industry was going to treat them better when they come in. Then in Nigeria, everybody knows, virtually everyone knows in Nigeria, and statistics shows that there is a lot of work stress in the banking industry. So putting those three together, and then I sat down to see, okay, if they were complaining about all these constructs, what were they exhibiting? And I noticed that they were exhibiting deviant behaviors in different folds. So I brought those three together to see the effect, the influence on both them.
I think it's very interesting that you went from the banking sector to studying, while doing your PhD in employment relations instead of banking. It's very interesting.
Yes,
how you found the connection between the two.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Then, and when I was working as a training manager, I used to be the faculty manager. I used to manage the facilitators. So I went through their CVs, and most of the time I used to be in the classes when they facilitated. And I told myself, I know all these things that they are talking about, but I was not in their position, And I was telling myself, so what else could put me in their position, impact people, research problems, find solution, and stand in front of them and inculcate knowledge. And I don't have their years of experience, so what can keep me up onto their level is a PhD. I find myself there.
Well done.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Can you give us some insight on what it was like to have Professor Okwere as your supervisor?
That is a best-selling textbook article to write about that man. I'm not sure I would have continued if I was not with Professor Wilfred. It's not because we are from the same country, no. Because there were a lot of things he was making jest of me for. At times he would say, Philip, pick that chair, come sit beside me, let's review this together. And he would say it like 3 times. I would pretend like I didn't hear him. He would say, Philip, this is not Nigeria. Because I was not used to that. So he started from mentoring before supervising. And that was a very soft landing for me. I was used to this is my supervisor, then let's kickstart on supervisor's level. No, he started as a mentor, a brother, then he says, okay, now let's delve into supervision because that is why you are here. And it was so easy for me. There was a critical moment in my journey where I told everyone at home and my friends here that I was going to quit. That was in terms of funding. I applied for a lot of grant funds and I couldn't get any. I did more than 7 applications. I didn't get any. Until he came and said, okay, I'm going to be extending funds to you. I felt he told me, I'm going to sell UJ to you. That was what I felt. Like, okay, I'm selling UJ to you. Take the whole of UJ. So I was so happy. So I went in that strength of somebody saying, I'm going to extend funds. I went in that strength vis-a-vis the idea I heard in front of me to come and do real estate. And in that strength, I found myself. He's wonderful, he's friendly, he knows what he's doing. He's not just trying to catch it. He's so good, he knows, he can see the end right from the beginning. You know, he knows. The first thing he does is to know your strength. Then he starts challenging you according to your strength, and it's just wonderful.
So he builds a relationship before you hit the ground running.
Seriously, the relationship is like, okay, just assume you've come to meet me as your brother, not to come and study. Then later you said, okay, let's flip the coin. You've come to study, but the other side of the coin and your brother. So let's put the two together. Let's see how it goes, and it's really helped.
That's fantastic.
Everybody was asking, how are you doing it? It's very fast. Is this? Because I did my proposal in 6 months.
That's impressive.
I did my proposal.
Well done.
In 6 months, and if you calculate the time I submitted, finally, it came up to 3.5 years.
That's incredible.
You know, it's just wonderful. He helped me in all stands. And he also, you know, what really touched my heart was when he went home. It was the first period, so I was calling him to follow up on it. Then he called back. He said, Philip, let's do video call. He did a video call, and he put me onto his mother and son. And I felt then he was not speaking to a supervisor.
Yeah.
He was not speaking to a student.
You're speaking to a friend.
Imagine the feeling. Imagine the strength of how I would look if I could finish without a relationship. So and that was one of the things that kept him going on. He's a wonderful supervisor. He's a wonderful brother.
It's good to hear you speak so highly of him.
Then another thing is I'm so challenged. I'm so jealous of his academic achievement. I'm so jealous. I will see publications, I will see the grounds, I will see the awards, and I'll be like, I cannot be a student of this prof and not come out excellently well. You know, so in all round, yes, encouraged.
Well, now he's paved the way, and now you can submit all your own articles as well.
Yes, and
publications.
That is one of the things he's telling me. Philip, I've shown you the way, I've paved the way for you. Follow the path and follow the tradition. So I'm writing out. In fact, I've applied for postdoc immediately, and there's some people I'm grooming in how to do research, write articles.
That's great.
You can't just come out of him and don't want to
exactly
hit the ground. So that's who he is to me. In the auditorium, you could hear the shout. Fantastic, you know, everyone, Professor Fantastic, and all the students too are fantastic.
I agree. So, what was the most challenging part of this journey for you?
The most, I have 2 stages. The first stage is the literature review. I wasn't staying close to school, I was staying in Pretoria. So Prof is this kind of supervisor that can wake up Monday morning and say, Philip, where are you? I said, but please can you come now? He does not want to know where you are, whether you are in Mpumalanga, you are in Cape Town. If you tell him, Prof, I'm in Cape Town, take the next available flight and meet me here now. We need to look at this thing together. Right, good. So there was this mind that I had that if I wanted to go to bed, something would be telling me, can you please wake up early because you don't know if this man will call you. So it was so challenging for me because it was affecting me physically, in terms of movement, financially, in terms of how to take train and take all the taxis, you know, psychologically, because I had to sleep before doing anything, I had to think before doing anything. He could call me anything. And the one thing I've told myself is I would never say no because of how we started with me. Then the second stage was when I went for my data collection. It was challenging. I had to move from, I did 10 different banks, 2 cities in the nation, moving from one place to another. People were not cooperating, but you had to just, at times you have to, like a compassionate spirit that, you know, it is, my life lines in your decision. Then they started responding. Then I remember when I wanted to come in, I had to renew my permit. There was a problem. Because the South African immigration told me I had to come and bring South African police report while I was in Nigeria. It was same prof that helped me moving. I sent my fingerprint down, DHL, and it was so, because I was so distracted. Imagine you've collected your data and you needed to go back to analyze in UJ and move on with reports. And some people are telling you, no, you can't go back to our country because you have to do this, you have to do that. So those are the two main challenges I had. But I kept telling myself I've started. And that's the spirit I do have. I've started, I must see the end of this.
And now you're here. What was your favorite part of the process?
Wow, the favorite part of my process, two stages again. The first one was when I passed my proposal. And the emeritus professor told me, Philip, I kept quiet from stage one until now because that was what I did at my first degree program. I was like, really? He said, yes, workplace different behavior. I was just keeping quiet to see how you're going to tell me how you're going to make sure you tackle this, and you've done fantastic well. So it was a good feeling for me to have people sit down and all of them say, we want to allow you to proceed and start a PhD. Then two was when when Prof told me that my thesis came back from the examiner and they passed me, and when I saw the comment myself, it was so unreal. I told myself, did I deserve this comment? Did I work for these people to write this? Because I'm very sure these guys will be professors. The feeling was so good, and I was happy. So those are these two stages for me. And until now, today, it's so unreal.
Your story is so inspiring.
So inspiring to have people celebrate you that way.
Is there any advice you would give to any younger people who want to pursue a PhD in anything?
When I got my form and I told a doctor then, now a professor back home in my country, that I got admitted to UJ, he said congratulations, but he was not laughing. He shook my hand and he drew me closer to him and he told me, he says, Philip, PhD and a doctoral journey and academics journey is not a journey you start and you stop on the road. Be very sure if you want a PhD. Don't do a PhD because you just want to be a manager in any industry. Do a PhD because you want to go out there and keep solving problems. Anyone who wants to do a PhD shouldn't first of all have in mind that it's the title you want. The title comes after you've shown yourself perfect, you've shown yourself qualified to solve problems at every node and training of the academic world and the society. So the first advice is be sure it's the route you want to take. Just don't because of the title.
Because it's not an easy route.
It's not easy.
You have to be passionate about it.
Then two, there are some qualities that you need. If you don't have them before, you just have to bring them in. You have to persevere. You have to tolerate people. You have to be patient. You have to be organized. You cannot be scattered and be successful in PhD. You cannot just be scattered because writing an article, putting your point across, does not condone disorganization. You can be bright, but if you are scattered, no. You have to bring some qualities. You have to be peaceful, joyful, be happy, know how to persevere, and know how to be organized, and try and encourage others. One thing I've always told myself since when I was young, I knew I was going to be in this line. I've always been a people person, and I've always told myself that since I love impacting people, I love telling them new things, what they don't know. I like putting knowledge. Then that means I need to know more. I need to go ahead of them, and that is one of the reasons why I'm here. I want to tell people things they don't know, but I need to go ahead of them, and that's why I'm here. So that's what I would have for anyone who wants to take this line.
Well, thank you for your time and for answering all my questions. Your story is one of the best stories I've heard in a while.
Thank you.
And I'm very proud of you. Congratulations on getting your PhD.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Philip.
You've always been part of the story all the while. The encouragement, the time you gave tea and coffee, the time you were like, okay, can you sit down, Prof? People can be like, no, I'm here for Prof, I'm not for sitting down. the time they made you so much organized Prof's work.
But I think that now that you know who Prof Wilfred is, you understand that anyone that's in his life is actually family.
Family. Look at you. You've been with him for more than 4 years, and you are still here on my own graduation. So
exactly.
Anything that happens, I want to be around him if he calls me.
I agree.
Like I said, I've applied for my postdoc. I still want to continue working with him. That man.
I share those sentiments.
I want those calls. Philip, where is he? Yes, because I'm used to it. But I want the result. Yes, I want to be identified with him.
Well, thank you again.
Thank you very much.